What untold stories lie buried in Canada's rugged Old West? From shadowy saloons and daring cowboys to the fevered chaos of the gold rush, these rare photos unlock a world you've never imagined. Each frame holds a secret that will leave you questioning everything you know about history. Let's uncover the hidden past at Timeless Frames. A crowd of eager miners lines up to register their gold claims in Dawson City in 1898 during the feverish Klondike gold rush. This image captures the excitement and anticipation of miners as they register their claims for gold during the Klondike gold rush. The scene is filled with energy, with hundreds of hopeful prospectors eager to strike it rich in the rugged Yukon. A group of young ladies of the night gathered in Whitechapel, Dawson, Yukon, at the height of the Klondike gold rush in 1899. This photo shows a group of women who worked in Dawson's brothels known as the Ladies of the Night during the gold rush. The image gives a glimpse into the more controversial aspects of life in the bustling frontier town. A bustling street scene in Dawson, 1899, with donkeys carrying posters for a play, grand opening tonight. Dawson City streets were lively, with donkeys hauling goods and posters advertising the latest shows. This photo captures the spirit of entertainment and commerce in the gold rush town, which catered to miners and visitors alike. A flotilla of bold prospectors crosses the icy waters of Lake LaBerge in 1898, heading toward the Klondike goldfields in Dawson, Yukon. Miners braved the freezing waters of Lake LaBerge to reach the goldfields of Dawson City. This photo depicts a daring flotilla of prospectors, their boats loaded with supplies and driven by the promise of wealth. Who was the enigmatic gypsy queen of Dawson City during the gold rush? Mrs. Curly Monroe, the Gypsy Queen, an iconic figure in Dawson City around 1890. Mrs. Curly Monroe, known as the Gypsy Queen, was a well-known figure in Dawson City. This portrait captures her distinct personality and status as a celebrity in the town during the gold rush era. A Klondike miner moves along the challenging Chilkoot Trail in Alaska in 1897 with Indigenous porters and oxen. This photo shows a miner and his team of Indigenous porters and oxen navigating the treacherous Chilkoot Trail. The trail was notorious for its difficulty, with miners having to haul heavy loads up the steep passes. A historic photo of Vancouver's birthplace, capturing Corral Street looking south, highlighting the Maple Tree Corner on Water Street in 1886. Vancouver's early days are showcased in this image, with Corral Street leading south past the iconic Maple Tree Corner. This photo marks a pivotal moment in the city's development as it began to grow into a key hub in British Columbia. Thousands of miners, stampeders, line up to climb the steep summit of Chilkoot Pass in 1898, heading toward the Klondike goldfields. The daunting climb of Chilkoot Pass is captured in this photo as thousands of miners, known as stampeders, prepare to ascend. The photo highlights the harsh conditions faced by those seeking fortune in the Klondike. Babe Wallace, one of the night workers in Dawson City around 1896. Babe Wallace was one of Dawson City's well-known women of the night, playing a pivotal role in the town's social life. This photo captures her during the height of the Klondike gold rush, a symbol of the town's complex social dynamics. 4 prospectors braved the difficult conditions of the Chilkoot Trail in 1897 during the Klondike gold rush. These miners are pictured trekking up the Chilkoot Trail, which was a grueling journey that tested the resolve of every prospector. Their weary faces and loaded packs tell the story of the hardships endured to reach the Klondike fields. What secrets lie at the crossroads of Toronto's past and its iconic future? The intersection of Front and Wellington Streets in Toronto in 1888, later transformed by the Gooderham Building. This photo captures the early days of Toronto before the city's rapid expansion. The intersection would later be transformed by the iconic Gooderham Building, a symbol of Toronto's architectural evolution. If you are enjoying the Canadian Old West, don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Frames. Subscribe now. Members of the Kootenai First Nation on horseback in Donald, East Kootenay in 1884, long before European explorers arrived. This striking photograph shows members of the Kootenai First Nation, one of the Indigenous peoples of Canada, riding horseback in their traditional attire. It is a rare glimpse into life before European settlers arrived in the region. 3 people with sled dogs on Dawson Street in 1898, with the Pioneer Bakery and Cafe in the background. This wintry scene from Dawson City captures the use of sled dogs to transport goods and people. The Pioneer Bakery and Cafe in the background shows how businesses adapted to the harsh conditions of the Klondike. Men stand outside Mary's Hotel in the Bonanza Creek area near Dawson City in 1898. Mary's Hotel, a well-known establishment in Dawson City, is the setting for this photo. The men standing outside are part of the lively social scene that revolved around the hotel during the Klondike Gold Rush. Who was the star that lit up Dawson City during the Klondike Gold Rush? Let's see in this photo. May Stanley, a dance hall entertainer during the Klondike Gold Rush, pictured in a studio around 1898. May Stanley, a famous dance hall entertainer in Dawson City, is captured in this studio portrait. Her performances were a highlight of the local entertainment scene, offering miners a distraction from the hardships of the gold rush. Mr. Rupert Fulton and his Lakeview dairy wagon in Vernon, British Columbia, in 1910. This photo captures Mr. Rupert Fulton, a pioneering dairy farmer, with his Lakeview dairy wagon in Vernon. His contributions helped feed the growing population of the area as farming expanded in British Columbia. A woman arrives in Dawson, Yukon, in 1898 with sled dogs carrying her luggage. This photo shows a woman arriving in Dawson City, her belongings carried by sled dogs, a common mode of transport in the harsh Yukon winter. The image captures the rugged spirit of those who ventured to the Klondike. A group of Shuswap Indigenous people poses in front of tents at timelessframeschannel in 1912. This historic photo shows members of the Shuswap Indigenous people at timelessframeschannel, capturing a moment in time for this proud community. The tents in the setting reflect their traditional way of life during this period. Elated miners display large, newly discovered gold nuggets during the Klondike Gold Rush around 1897. This photo shows miners celebrating their good fortune after discovering large gold nuggets in the Klondike. Their joyful expressions captured the excitement of the gold rush. When striking it rich was a possibility. A mining engineer and his dogs travel on an improvised rail cart from Shelton to Nome, Alaska in 1912. This image shows a mining engineer and his dogs on a makeshift rail cart traveling from Shelton to Nome. The photo underscores the ingenuity of miners as they adapted to the challenges of Alaska's rugged landscape. Subscribe now to discover more stories of Canada's railroad revolution and its impact on the nation's growth. People inside the Pacific Express train near Kicking Horse Canyon, Golden, British Columbia, around 1890. This historic photo shows passengers aboard the Pacific Express train as it travels near Kicking Horse Canyon. The Canadian Pacific Railway was a major factor in the development of Canada's economy during this time. A Blackfoot chief and Indigenous women in ceremonial attire at a powwow in Calgary in 1901, celebrating the visit of the Duke of Cornwall and York. This photo captures a Blackfoot chief and Indigenous women in their ceremonial attire during a 1901 powwow in Calgary. The event marked the visit of the Duke of Cornwall and York, with the Indigenous community proudly showcasing their culture. Did you think, how did one woman's determination transform the Klondike Gold Rush into a thriving business empire? Let's see the photo. The Magnet Roadhouse in Grand Forks, Yukon, built by Belinda Mulrooney, one of the most influential businesswomen of the Klondike Gold Rush. The Magnet Roadhouse, a business established by Belinda Mulrooney, is captured in this photo. Mulrooney was one of the most influential women during the Klondike Gold Rush, successfully running hotels and other businesses in Dawson. Indigenous people walking along a trail through the forest in British Columbia, capturing their nomadic lifestyle in the 1800s. This photo captures Indigenous people walking along a forest trail in British Columbia. It gives a rare glimpse into their nomadic lifestyle and connection with the natural environment before European settlers arrived. A miner works a sluice box on Bonanza Creek, Dawson, in 1898. A miner is shown working a sluice box on Bonanza Creek, one of the most famous gold-bearing creeks in the Klondike. The image reflects the hard work and dedication of miners trying to strike it rich during the gold rush. A group of miners posing with their sled dogs in Dawson City in 1898, displaying their winter gear and rugged lifestyle. This photograph features a group of miners posing with their sled dogs in Dawson City. The harsh winter conditions of the Klondike are evident in their winter gear and the sled dogs that were essential for transport in the frozen wilderness. An aerial view of the rapidly growing town of Whitehorse in 1899. This aerial photo captures the early days of Whitehorse, a town that quickly grew as a key transportation hub for the Klondike Gold Rush. The image shows how the town expanded as miners and businesses flocked to the area. A family of Indigenous people standing outside their home in the Yukon during the late 1800s, capturing their peaceful existence. Captured in this photo is a peaceful family of Indigenous people outside their home in the Yukon. The image reflects the traditional lifestyle and close-knit nature of Indigenous families during the late 1800s. A team of pack horses carries miners' supplies across the snow-covered plains toward Dawson in 1897. Miners and their supplies are seen being transported via pack horses in the snow-covered landscape, heading toward Dawson City. These horses were a vital means of transport in the harsh conditions of the Klondike Gold Rush. Miners worked diligently inside a gold mine tunnel near the Klondike River in 1898. This image shows miners working inside a dark and narrow tunnel, laboring away in the gold mines near the Klondike River. Their hard work in difficult conditions exemplifies the determination of those seeking fortune. The SS Vancouver, an early steamship used for transporting goods between Vancouver and the Klondike during the Gold Rush. The SS Vancouver, a steamship integral to the transportation of goods and people during the Klondike Gold Rush, is captured in this photo. It played a crucial role in the distribution of supplies to miners in towns like Dawson City. What lavish secrets were hidden behind the doors of Dawson City's Grand Hotel in 1898? See in this photo. The Grand Hotel, a luxury establishment in Dawson City, offering services to wealthy gold miners in 1898. This historic photo shows the Grand Hotel in Dawson City, one of the most luxurious places during the Klondike Gold Rush. Wealthy gold miners often stayed here for its high-end services and accommodations. A group of miners relaxing in the sun outside a Dawson City saloon in 1897. In this casual scene, miners relax outside a saloon in Dawson City, taking a break from their grueling work. The photo highlights the mix of hard labor and recreation during the Gold Rush period. A snowy street scene in Dawson City, Yukon in 1899, with sled dogs pulling wagons loaded with goods. This wintry scene from Dawson City shows sled dogs hauling goods through the snow-covered streets, essential for transport in this remote northern town. Hit subscribe and step inside this world of luxury and gold-fueled excess. A Klondike miner with a pan full of gold from Bonanza Creek, proudly showing off his discovery in 1898. A miner is captured holding a pan filled with gold from Bonanza Creek, proudly displaying his discovery. This moment of triumph was common during the Klondike Gold Rush, where the promise of a wealth attracted thousands of miners. A parade through the streets of Skagway, Alaska, celebrating the completion of the Klondike Railroad in 1900. This festive parade marks the completion of the Klondike Railroad, a major milestone in transportation during the Gold Rush. The railroad dramatically improved access to the Klondike, making it easier for miners and supplies to reach the area. A bustling street in Skagway, Alaska, filled with merchants and miners in 1898. This street scene shows a lovely day in Skagway, where miners, merchants, and traders gather. Skagway was a key supply point for the Klondike Gold Rush, and its streets were filled with people seeking fortune or goods for the arduous journey north. Miners in a makeshift tent camp near Bonanza Creek, readying their tools for another day of gold mining in 1897. This photo features miners in a camp near Bonanza Creek, preparing their tools and gearing up for another day of labor. The simplicity and temporary nature of their shelters reflect the rough conditions they endured in hopes of striking gold. Thank you for watching. If you want to discover more about Western ridiculous and horrifying history, hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. See you in the next video.